the next day has come, and I'm still trying to make sense of it all. One of one of the best games that I've witnessed in a very long time. The special nature of this World Cup, and I think Virat Kohli. I'm not usually right about a lot of things, but Virat Kohli's return to form and that innings from him yesterday was just vindication of myself as an outsider, as an Aussie fan, looking at that player over the last couple of years and saying, "He's still got it. He'll come good eventually."
Well, I'll always argue whether he was out of form in the first place. He was. I've always backed him, and all. Happy to be
Uh,
proven right again yesterday. He was never out of form. If you look at the numbers, if you look at the way he was playing, right, like Rohit Sharma said yesterday, he was never out of form. He
mm,
was playing some brilliant shots like he has always done. He was
yep.
just short on hundreds. That's it. He scored loads of 50s. He was averaging really good. He was playing at a good strike rate across formats. He just lacked the hundreds. And that's what we associate Virat Kohli with is the 100. And he scored the 71st 100 in the Asia Cup, got that out of the way. And now, you know, it's his world. We are just living in it.
Yeah, and I think what you say is right. He's a victim of his own success in a way. Like, he set such a high
Yeah,
standard for
that's
himself.
rightly put. That's perfectly said.
Set up such a high standard for himself that he wasn't quite able to meet the last couple of years. I don't think he. I know he was scoring runs, wasn't getting the 100, wasn't looking his confident self, but yesterday was just something else. Before we talk about the game in a little bit more detail, I just want to talk about that shot. I'm sure you know which one I'm talking about. 28 off 8
I
needed.
have I have watched that shot so many times.
I just can't
I've
get
lost
enough of it.
count.
Like that is good bowling from Harris Ralph, but it
It's
takes a
great bowling.
special
He did
player.
no wrong. He did
Nah, did
no
no
wrong.
wrong. It's the right delivery to bowl, with the long square boundaries. You're thinking this is a
Yeah.
good plan. Then all of a sudden, a freak of a shot off the back foot down the ground. I don't know how you execute it.
Short ham jab, off the back foot, straight past the bowler's head onto the side screen. And he got good elevation on that as well.
Yep,
And distance. So it's not that was powerful. So to clear
it's
the MCG
power.
boundary, it's still you still even though it's the straight boundary which might be a bit short than the square boundaries, it's still you still need power. It's still a long
Was that a,
boundary.
a 90-meter
And
hit in the end?
yeah, I think it was
That's
almost
insane.
85. Yeah, 85, 90. And to
Yeah.
add that, to add that the atmosphere, the stage, um, you know, as some would say, his lack of confidence. I never thought it was lack of confidence, but um, to do that on that stage with the situation that India were in,
Oh
um,
yeah.
and I've seen so many interviews that Virat Kohli did after that. He you know he has kept saying since yesterday, since the innings, that he was nervous, but it was Hardik Pandya who sort of gave him the belief from the other end, saying, just believe we can do it. Just get the game deep, and we can do it because there was a situation, there was a scenario, there was a moment where they realized that, oh, it's actually Nawaz who's going to bowl the last over, and
Yep.
they had to attack either of the fast bowlers. It was either Naseem Shah was Shaheen Afridi or Haris Rauf, and that Rauf over was Virat Kohli, as he said in the interview, he had to get those two sixes, otherwise they were going to lose.
Those two sixes, yeah, because Pakistan were relying on that 19th over going their way, and it was going their way, and then those two sixes from Virat, just extraordinary. It's just genius, a genius at work. One of the best white ball players the game has ever seen. There's no doubt about it, and the class is permanent. And for those who are writing him off, it's a big slice of humble pie now. Um, you're entitled to your
Yeah,
opinion, but when you
there's a lot of quiet Twitter accounts now.
yeah, yeah, yeah. When you
Yesterday.
write off a champion at 33 years of age, I think he is still. So he's still
Yeah.
got plenty of batting left in him. He's very fit. He's a terrific player. You write a player off like that, you're doing it at your own peril.
There is be very scared. There's another peak coming. Be very scared. We've already seen what he can do back in 2016, 2018.
He
And
averages 518 in successful run chases in World Cups.
oh my God. Oh my God. That
And yeah,
yesterday I was watching the game with my wife, and I did not move for like an hour and a half. when Virat and Pandya were batting, I had to go to the bathroom so bad, but I did not move. I was not going anywhere. I
Yeah.
was not missing a single ball. I was not moving. I told my wife, just sit there. That's it. Just do nothing. Just sit there, watch the match. And then after the game, I just let out a big scream, and
It's
I've lost my
the
voice a bit.
it's the old cricket superstition, is it? There's a partnership going, don't move.
But I would like to sort of give most of the credit to Hardik Pandya as well. That innings from him, that support that he provided was immense.
You reckon? I thought it was good support emotionally rather than um his batting. I thought he was not at his best. I thought he used up a lot of deliveries, couldn't get going. There was a period there, I think maybe between the 13th and the 16th over or the 17th over, Hardy could barely lay bat on ball.
He was as you said, as you rightly put, he was there having someone like Hardik Pandya at the other end, and in this sort of situation, just to tell you, just keep going. We can do it. It's that confidence that you need.
Yep. And it comes back to that, his captaincy in the IPL, I think, Pandya, that has really served him well as a leader. And you look at the impact he's had on someone like David Miller from South Africa and a few others from that Gujarat Titans team. So, no, I agree with you there. He was a big factor providing that support to Virat.
Going back to Harsha Bhogle's interview with the great cricketer, where you perfectly put that it's this new generation of Hardik Pandya, Rishabh Pant, Shubman Gill that just keep saying, just be there, enjoy the game, and
One
hit the
thing
ball.
he said really well, he goes that the previous generation would look at mid off or mid on and think, oh, I'm not going to hit in the air because what if I get caught? Where this generation looks at that fielder and says, I can get over him. They look at what's possible rather than what's
what may happen.
What may happen or what could go wrong. And you know what? I think you've got to be these days. You play so much and there's so much scrutiny on you that if you play in fear, you're just going to be crippled and you're not going to be able to score. You're not going to be able to succeed. There's too much going on to have a negative mindset.
But yeah, and I would still say that India, this may be controversial, but India did not completely deserve to win that game yesterday.
The game I loved. What I think I loved about that game was just how it ebbed and flowed. You thought for a second India didn't deserve to win.
I will never say India as a collective deserved to win that game. It was Virat Kohli who deserved to win the game. It was, Indian bowlers did really well in the first 10, sort of 6-7 overs. They let the Pakistani batsmen lose in the middle overs, and the death overs are always a problem. They should have never reached 160. They were at best under 140, between 130, 140. And then the top order was shambles. Yeah.
I agree with you there that India conceded more than they should have. And I sort of tweeted at the start of it when the toss, India won it and chose to chase. I know 7 of the last 8 games before this one was won by the chasing side at the MCG. But then I thought, you go back to last year's BBL, because you include those games in there. There was a lot of teams affected by COVID, like Melbourne Stars and these teams. They fielded reserve sides because the whole side was out with COVID. They batted first and lost. So you take those factors into consideration as well. But I thought runs at the MCG is always a plus. And Pakistan blew it.
Not when Virat Kohli is chasing.
That's right. I mean, not when Virat's chasing in that mode. I understand, but even then, I'd say Pakistan blew it.
Yeah, absolutely. And coming back to Virat Kohli's innings, which is why we are here today to discuss, and it was probably not probably the best T20 international innings that I have seen.
Yeah, it's right up there. It's definitely his. He said it's better than Mahali. He rates it higher than that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the way it was a calculated innings. The way he defended at the start.
12 of 20 or something at the start.
Yeah, he was 5 of 15 at one point, if I remember it correctly, and then ended up with 82 or 50. So, it was a calculated innings, and that's what I love about the man. It's, he perfectly knows the game inside his head, and he knows what to do and when to do it. So it's kind of like, him and MS Dhoni are in the same mold, and now the new generation, the Hardik Pandyas, and they are perfectly sort of adapting to that mold as well.
100%. Yeah, he was able to shift gears so well, and that accumulation at the start, from an Australian perspective, it's why people call for Smith. But Smith, whether he can shift gears like Virat can, no, I don't think there's a contest there.
Yeah.
And that's not to say
And
Smith's a bad player, but it's just Virat is just out of this world.
he's if anyone still has doubts, they don't deserve to watch cricket at all.
Yeah.
Um, the, it's not only that six. Like I tweeted yesterday or this morning, I think. It's not only that six, but the shot he played in the previous over of Shaheen Afridi, the inside out, over the covers, sort of on a really ankle length low full toss. He got
Yeah, yeah,
underneath
yeah, yeah,
that
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and managed to squeeze it over the
Mm,
covers comfortably, and it rolled to the boundary. That was unbelievable as well to get that backing away or at Shah Afridi's pace.
yep.
That was a brilliant shot as well, and you know what? Kudos to the man. Yeah.
Brilliant.
What else there is to say?
Was it a no ball in the last over?
It was. It was. I mean, you
Tight.
can't. You're not playing backyard cricket where he is going to take one step forward. I really I'm lost for words of some people's ignorance and just
I saw that
um
there was one photo with the arrow showing the ball going down. Yeah,
yeah. I'm like
towards
I'm
him.
like, what are you doing? Like just get over yourself.
Yeah, look, I think Pakistan a little bit unlucky there at times, especially with the ball going off the stumps, but they hurt themselves. Maybe they could have used an over of Iftikhar Ahmed in the middle to try keep a seamer for the final over. But yeah, they let that slip,
What's actually
Pakistan.
surprising is from yesterday's game, I understood how little this supposedly experts know about the game as well.
Mm.
It's clear in black and white that on a free hit you can run no matter what.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um,
Yeah,
no
yeah.
matter what happens, even if
That's
you
the
hit it,
rule. You might not
don't.
agree with the rule, but it's the rule. If I'm being honest, it's probably a law that can be looked at. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with what India did yesterday. It's the rule. It applies
Yeah,
to both teams.
absolutely. It's pretty
Sometimes you
poor.
get people caught up in emotion as well.
Yep. Yep.
Take a step
Absolutely.
back and just say, well, is this the rule or what's the rule? If I'm not sure, because yeah, you're supposed to be the experts.
Watch out for KL Rahul to score a pointless 50 somewhere.
You're
Um,
going in. You're going in on people.
Oh, I
Just
mean, it's
is this?
pretty poor from like he's not a big stage player. Like I was speaking to one of the friends of the podcast, but she's at plum_infront yesterday while watching the game, and you know eh, they're not big stage players. He
Mm,
KL Rahul. I can't remember one game where he has actually performed on the big stage for India, and
yep,
you know
that's going to be the challenge for
every
him in
time
this
it's
tournament, isn't it? Yep.
yeah, exactly. It's such pointless matches like the warm up. He played a blinder of an innings. Um,
Yeah.
and yesterday the ball wasn't swinging. It was not that difficult
Mm.
of conditions to bat in. So yeah, there's been so much almost hatred on social media between even Virat Kohli fans and Rohit Sharma
Which is
fans
crazy.
and
You both
different
support the
fans
same
and
team, lads. You both
exactly.
support the same
But
thing. This is one thing I never get. Like, you're both from India. You support India. You
yeah,
want to see India do well.
but here's the thing. Here's the thing. The games like these, matches like these, is what clearly differentiates champions from probably legends. Rohit Sharma is a champion, no doubt about it. Great white ball player for India, great opener for India. Virat Kohli is an effing legend. Like you can't. He is one of the greats to play the game already. You can't argue. You cannot seriously argue with that. And there's probably only two people in Indian cricket, white ball cricket, that sit anywhere near him. One is obviously the master, and other one I would say would be MS Dhoni.
Mm.
And that is it. That is it. This is only white ball cricket. So it's not even a question. Virat Kohli is in a very different league to any of other cricketers in the world, I would say.
It's like his stats. Well, I don't know. They're still pretty good the last couple of years. But you said before, like it's the victim of his own very high
Yeah.
standards in a way. Pakistan next up against Zimbabwe at Perth. I think it's on Thursday night.
Yep,
India the
that's
same
correct.
day against the Netherlands at Sydney. That's going to be a sea of blue. Out west here in Sydney in Harris Park, big Indian population. They were going nuts in the streets after that. It was just a great win. What a game! It just India Pakistan games the last few times they haven't really lived up to the hype
Yep.
the last couple of years.
I'm not kidding. Sorry, I'm just going back to yesterday's game.
Yeah.
I've literally after that game, I was so excited. Bad decisions are made at 2 a.m. and as that saying
Nothing
goes.
right happens at 2 a.m.
Me and my wife just sat there after the game and literally spent over $1,000 on a flight and tickets to the final. Literally, we booked the tickets to the final.
Straight in, that's it. We're confident
Yeah,
we're going to
straight
be
in.
there.
We are going there. No matter what happens, we are going to the final. Book the flights from Hobart to Melbourne. That's done. The tickets are done,
Good
and we
luck,
are
buddy.
going there.
Who do you
Yep.
think it's going to
Hopefully,
be now?
fingers
You
crossed.
said England. Did you say in the prediction show?
I think I said I did say Australia. I think.
I think you said
I-
England. I said
did
Australia will
I
beat. I
say
said
England or
Australia will win it.
India? I can't remember, but you
One
know
of
what I'm
the
really hoping.
Yeah.
Not hoping is we get New Zealand in the semi-final.
You're hoping for that, given the
No,
way
no,
they played
I'm
the other day.
not hoping
Oh,
for that.
okay. Oh, yeah. They've got a good record against
Yeah,
India at that stage.
exactly,
And the way they played
exactly.
on
Just
Saturday.
get to the final. Just get to the final.
One of the positives I had was that game yesterday, India Pakistan, allowed me to forget about the absolute shit show from the night before. Australia. I'm still in shock here at this very moment. It's 89 runs. Everything that could have gone wrong did, and everything that could have went right for
-4
New
net run rate
Zealand.
of -4.
I was telling you, remember I told you that group, those top three teams can finish equal. It's going to come down to net run
Yeah,
rate. Anyway,
yeah.
that's for another time. Sri Lanka tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. But what a game yesterday and what a tournament. One thing we will say before we end is this World Cup already trumps the last year's one.
Yeah.
I know my Australia, we won last year and it was great, but that was not a great World Cup. It was win the toss, chase, win the game. This one, there's ebbs and flows, there's unpredictability. You have to make a decision at the toss and it might not go your way. It's been outstanding.
And that's all credit to the Australian pitches, and it's always Australia has always been a great host for cricket events, and they always tend to provide sort of that even balance between bat and ball.
Yeah, even
especially in the white ball format.
Yeah, there's been bounce. Even the Geelong pitch that's been very slow and difficult to score on. It's produced some memorable games this tournament as well. So it's been fantastic.
Absolutely,
It
and
really has.
really exciting. Really excited to see what happens now. Hoping to see more of Virat Kohli in this World Cup, and hoping he gets more runs and just keep scoring. I'm really filled with emotion since yesterday, and really
even still now I can see it.
Still not sort of recovered from the game, but it's I'm just excited of what's to come in the next 2 years. If the way Virat Kohli is going now, oh man, the next 2 years are going to be massive.
And then you can put some of those up and coming Indian youngsters alongside him as well, and that'll elevate their game. So
absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Nash, congratulations on the win. Congratulations to all India fans. A commiserations to the Pakistan fans, but there was enough to suggest yesterday that they're not going to.
And commiserations to Australia as well.
We're not talking about that. We're talking about
Australia as well.
We're talking about India, Pakistan. So commiserations to the Pakistan fans. But I will say that Pakistan showed enough yesterday to still be in with a shout in this World Cup. So you can't write them off.
They absolutely are. They absolutely are.
They're definitely in it. And South Africa will have to play well to get out of that group. It'll be very interesting indeed. Thanks everyone for watching and listening. Catch our podcast later in the week. And until then, enjoy the World Cup.
Thank you. Thank you all.